So, very good afternoon to you all. On behalf of Team Project Cell of FRCRC, myself, Professor Vaibhav Godbole, welcoming all the participants. Now, the Team Project Cell is actually worked very hard. Some of you may be knowing about it. So, this Project Cell is actually exists in our college since last more than 7 to 8 years, and this project cell is continuously engaged in making many number of projects. They have developed many projects in the project cell, that is room number 311. And during pandemic also the project cell work is still going on. And for your information, our the project cell team leader, that is Sri Lole from B Electronics, she is actually has entered into the pre-finals of e-yantro competition held by IIT Bombay. So the competition is still going on, and he is having a lot of experience in the field of IoT, machine learning, and all those latest technologies. So he'll be giving you the brief introduction about the Node MCU, so that we all hope that this information will be definitely will be benefited for you, be benefited to you, one and the other way. So I welcome you, Shri, and his team. Shri, you can begin.
Thank you, sir, for the introduction. So we'll start the session by knowing more about the Node MCU, the pinouts and everything. And in the later half of the session, we will see the actual real-time system, how the system works. So for the first up, I would like to call Alan, and he will take the further session.
Yeah, hello. Good evening, everyone. So my name is Alan Xavier. I'm Vice Captain of Project Cell. So I will be presenting now about the pinouts. So for this session, we won't be doing much, I guess, a big whole Node MCU, the top to bottom, because that won't be necessary for you guys. For you guys, it's just how you need to interface it with some sensor you want to use in your projects, right? So most of you are more computer oriented. That's what we heard. So you don't need to go into deep hardware on how it works in the low level, but we'll just explain you the starting few slides about how you could easily interface your sensors and what is the pins required and how do they work. So I'll begin it now. So the pinout of Node MCU is, you can see at the right side, we have all the general purpose IO, that is input output. So the Node MCU is like a feature board, right? It is quite cheap and you could do many feature with Node MCU. And the best part is you have many functionality within a single pin, right? If you could see, even in these pins, you can see there are many functionality cascaded within a single pin. So that is something which is quite futuristic if you see, because even if you guys might have used Arduino, I guess. So Arduino is the basic way of embedded systems and interfacing microcontrollers, and Node MCU is a feature-rich one. So let's start with the basics of electronics, right? Because as Node MCU is a microcontroller, it works on 3.3 TTF voltage, and it's you can feed it approx 7 volt to 12 volts, I guess. But the working of you can't directly give a 7 to 12 volt in the 3.3 VCC or ground of Node MCU, because that would actually burn the whole board. So you need to either give it in V in or the USB interface which is given. So if you see below, between RST and flash, there is a USB interface for flashing your code by connecting it to a computer, as well as the power input. So it has a regulate voltage regulator built in. So it does the job of converting your 7 to 12 volt or 5 to 12 volt of voltage into 3.3 voltage. So you guys don't need to have to worry about that. Just plug it and you can do like power the board. Now let's come to the pins, right? So at the right side, you could see there are 16 input, general purpose input, as I mentioned. So this input, they actually are take 3.3 volt, like the optimum range that they give provide is 3.3 volt. That is logic high, logic low, and you could use it to like use it for general purpose stuff like sensor reading that and stuff. There's an and it is digital pins, right? The right side ones which are general purpose, they're digital pins. We have only one this analog pin in Node MC. So that is, wait 1 second, around ADCO. You guys may see at blue color. That is the analog pin. You guys, I need to take care that while working with Arduino, the PDM, the precision of ADC was 0 to 1023, right? So this is the same precision 10-bit ADC used in Node MCU. So only one analog pin and you could use that. And yeah, so let's continue. Now, these are the basic ones. Now we'll go to a bit intermediate part, right? So while connecting sensors, there are many protocols to connect your sensors to microcontroller. So the sensors may use serial peripheral interface. They may use UART, that is Universal Asynchronous Receiver and Transmitter, even I2C. So these are all connection protocols to your devices. So now you see at the right side, at GPIO 5 and GPIO 4, these pins are used for I2C. I'll just briefly tell you what all these pins are. Then after that, we'll go through the protocols and how and what do they require for. And at GPIO 14, 12, 13, and 15, these are SPI pins. So SPI pins stand for serial peripheral interface, and they use 4 pins mainly: serial clock, MISO, MOSI, and slave select. So if someone is from electronics department, ECS, they might know what these pins are. If not, then sure, you'll guys learn it ahead. There is one more set of SPI interface at the left side. If you see, that is in green side, right? If you could see my mouse, you could see that. So we have 2 sets of SPI pins in Node MC. And yeah, now at the right side, can you guys see RX and TX? So RX is receiver, TX is transmitter. So these 2 pins are actually for UART. So we have 2 sets of UART pins. So this is just boring and stuff, the pins and everything boring. We'll get to know to the better stuff later. So this is the overview of the pins. You have 4 ground pins. If you could see in black color, that is just, you could make it out. We have 3.3 voltage in, like we get 3.3 voltage supply pins because of the voltage regulator. And there is this V-in pin. So this V-in pin is important because you get the same voltage that you're inputting, right? So from laptop, if you connected your Node MCU, so it would send 5 volt to your Node MCU board. So this V-in is directly connected to that USB interface. So you would get 5 volt directly from your laptop to that pin. No voltage conversion from 5 volt to 3.3 volt. So you need to keep in mind this pin is very important pin because sometimes many sensors need 5 volt to run, right? They may not work on 3.3 volt. So this pin is quite important. So this is a basic overview. Now we go to PW pin. So why do you guys need PW pins? So if you see, I guess IT department or IT or general basic one, you guys make sliders, progress bars and stuff, right? So in, even if we interface a bot or a robot, if you want precision, right, we need the voltage precision. So we use PW pin. So for, you could use it for motor drivers, motors, to control the motors. You could use it to uh, control the intensity of light, the intensity of etc. So this is basically supplying external voltage, right? You're providing a voltage level to an external sensor or an external device through PWM pin. Right? So we have a large number of PWM pins, and you need to keep in mind in Arduino, while you guys may have used it, the PW pin range to 0 to 255. So that is 8-bit, if you say 8-bit. But if in Node MCU it is 10 bit. So you have the precision of 0 to 1000 to 1023. So you have a 10 bit precision in Node MCU, which is actually good, better than an typical Arduino. Just you guys can check out the pins. These are just mentioned. And again, guys, basic. You can find this on internet and you could just go through it. Our main aim is to help you guys understand better what the interfaces are and why do you need, right? So the first part we come to our interfaces, communication. This is serial peripheral interface. So as I mentioned that we have two sets of serial peripheral interface. So what actually serial peripheral interface does is that it has master in slave output, that is MISO, master out slave input, that is MOSI. We have serial clock, that is a common clock, and we have slave select, right, which device you want to connect as a slave. So that's the basic working, that you have a main device and it controls a couple of devices in slave mode. You have a master device and it controls a couple of devices in slave mode. So you could get it, if you want, you could have a temperature sensor, or you could even have a RFID module. You want, if you want to data from, want to communicate with them, you need to use that pins and the slave address of which device you want to interact with, and then get the data. So that's the basic working of SPI. So why do you need SPI? So there are many sensors that use SPI. The mainly the sensors which use SPI is wireless, right? If there is anything wireless, maximum wireless based sensors use SPI communication. You have NRF module, you have RFID module. These all are important modules which use SPI interface. And this interface is decided by the manufacturer itself, right? So you can't use कि हाँ भाई मैंने इस पे UART डाल दिया तो चलना ही चाहिए क्योंकि कम्युनिकेशन प्रोटोकॉल ये है. It doesn't work like that. वो जो प्रोटोकॉल है वो मैन्युफैक्चर बनाता है, इन करता है वो. So you guys have to use that protocol only and understand कि yes, so this sensor requires this protocol, so my approach to that project should be through SPI. So you have many libraries. Arduino hai, it is open source. So you guys have a numerous amount of libraries, SPI pe hi. So you guys have SPI library which is easy. Even if you want to interface an RF module, it's a wireless module for communication, transmitter and receiver. So it inbuilt, like uska jo library hai, it inbuilt has the all SPI functionality. So you guys don't have to need a worry about it कि हाँ मैं इसका address change करना पड़ेगा, ये करना पड़ेगा. Nothing. Everything is easy. Just need to understand that the communication one, right? So because for proper connection. So these are the pins at right side. I mentioned it. एक बार you guys go through it. Even if you search for any sensor and if you come across SPI, be sure to connect it to the proper connections properly, right? Otherwise it won't work. And sometimes, say if NRF, as a personal experience I'm telling you, NRF module works on 3.3 voltage, right? So गलती से भी तुम लोग ने अगर इसको VIN पे डाल दिया, then boom, तुम लोग का जो NRF है खराब हो जाता है. So it won't work. एंड द बेस्ट पार्ट ऑफ नोड एमसीयू इज दैट जो 3.3 वोल्टेज है ना, अभी तुम लोग ऑर्डिनो और नोड एमसीयू, इफ यू गाइस टेक इट अप, you would get more proper stable 3.3 voltage output from node MCU rather than Arduino. Arduino is highly unstable. 3.3 volt जो उसका है, and उसका current भी उतना नहीं है, 80 milliamp, very few milliamperes. Like एनआरएफ के लिए काफी करंट चाहिए रहता है एंड ऑर्डिनो कभी कभार प्रोवाइड नहीं कर पाता. सो नोड एमसीयू इज अ बेटर ऑप्शन फॉर वायरलेस कम्युनिकेशन इफ यू गाइस ऑप्ट फॉर दैट. सो क्योंकि उसका करंट भी ज्यादा रहता है, स्टेबल प्रॉपर रेगुलेटेड 3.3 वोल्टेज देता है, एंड यू हैव पिंस, अ लॉट ऑफ पिंस फॉर दैट, राइट? सो नेक्स्ट इज UART, यूनिवर्सल asynchronous receiver and transmitter. UART is basically जो Arduino, if you guys have used before, you know serial monitor, right? Serial monitor, that is actually serial communication वाला part है. It's like TX RX से ही connected होता है. So that is serial communication, basic one. We have two pins, two set of serial this UART and node MCU. And why do we need this? GSM module, GPS module, Bluetooth sensor. These all work with अपना UART protocol because you have only the VCC, TX, RX and ground. If you look at these sensors, this directly just कुछ pins का जैसे SPI है ऐसा कुछ लोचा नहीं है, बस connect the RX to TX of the sensor module and TX to RX of the sensor module, just like that. Interchange it, and you guys can readily read what is going on with that sensor, or if you want to send some data to that sensor, you could do that easily. It is one of the basic communication protocol. It is quite easy. You guys can use it, but just keep in mind in Bluetooth sensor and GPS module sensor, the voltage is quite important. कभी कभी क्या हो जाता है in receiver part, you need to use voltage divider for Bluetooth sensor बिकॉज अदरवाइज वो काम नहीं करेगा, वो उड़ जाता है क्योंकि करंट ऊपर नीचे सा होके वो उड़ जाता है, तो उसका ध्यान रखना रहता है. तो इफ यू गाइज ऑप्ट टू गो टू ब्लूटूथ सेंसर to communication, like you could bot or something like virus control, and if you want to use bluetooth sensor, just keep in mind कि वो voltage divider एक बोर्ड आता है, वो करना पड़ता है तुम लोग को. You guys can search for it, you will get better explanation कि Q and Y, right? So someone messaged it. So I couldn't see. Sorry, I cannot see. I check that message after, right? Yeah. The next is I2C. So this is the best of the best protocol, right? Because this protocol requires only two pins, that is SCL and SJ, that is a clock, a common clock and a common data pin. So जहाँ से तुम लोग को सब मिलेगा सीरियल डेटा, जहाँ से तुम लोग जो भी वैल्यूज है, अक्नॉलेज जो भी रहता है, वो लाइब्रेरी उसका सब ये कर देता है. द लाइब्रेरी नेम इज wire.h. You just need two proper connection, a simple one, and done. इवन LCD स्क्रीन जो आते हैं आजकल सब I2C से होता है, सो द पिन्स इज सेव्ड एंड काफी जल्दी हो जाता है काम. इतना काफी वायर्स एंड सब इसको ये करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. I2C इज द बेस्ट. सो इफ यू गाइज आर ट्राइंग टू डू सम प्रोजेक्ट जहाँ पे LCD है, लोग कुछ करना है, तो I2C यूज करो. एंड वही अगर वही सेंसर्स पे I2C अवेलेबल सर्च करो, वो है वेल एंड गुड, डू दिस. ये I2C काफी अच्छा प्रोटोकॉल है क्योंकि दो एकदम कम से कम पिन्स में इट गेट्स अ मैक्सिमम प्रॉपर आउटपुट देता है तुम लोग को, जो भी तुम लोग को डिवाइस चाहिए उसके लिए, right? So what are the sensors that I2C use? So we have temperature sensor. RTC is real time clock. So if you want to make a weather station, the Node MCU is like a standalone web server भी बोल सकते हैं. If you guys want to do, you could use Node MCU as a standalone web server for weather station, right? So RTC वो time करता है, the real time जो भी है उसको तुम लोग सेंड कर सकते हो. सो वील कम टू नो हाउ टू सेंड द वैल्यूज एंड स्टफ टू क्लाउड. आगे श्री बताएगा तुम लोग को लेटर हाफ में. बस जस्ट कीप इन माइंड दैट ये सब एक वेब सर्वर जैसा आगे देता है. नोड एमसीयू ऑफ कोर्स ये आई गेस मैंने तुम लोग को बताया नहीं, आई एम सॉरी, बट जो ये द होल this workshop is based on IoT. So Node MCU is an IoT board, internet के through. उसके बिना काम कर सकता है, but web server है, so of course internet is quite this. So next is communication protocol. अभी like from normal Node MCU to जो तुम लोग का web server है, जो अभी तुम लोग का डिवाइसेस है, कम्युनिकेशन प्रोटोकॉल हो गया, तुम लोगों ने कम्युनिकेशन प्रोटोकॉल से लिया जो भी डेटा है, अभी तुम लोग को पब्लिश या किधर सेंड करना है, कोई वायरलेस क्लाउड पे या तुम लोग के इस पे. सो हाउ डू वी डू दैट? दैट वुड बी एक्सप्लेन्ड बाय श्री. सो आई श्री, हेलो, कैन यू हियर मी?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I will take ahead of this. So there are multiple types of communication protocols, such as HTTP, MQTT, COAP, LAN communication. If you don't want internet to be in your embedded system, so these two are basics. Alan, can you mute yourself?
Just 1 second.
So the for IoT devices, MQTT is preferred compared to HTTP. MQTT is basically a messaging queue telemetry transport. It queues the message simultaneously as it sends, and while in HTTP, a message is breaks into several parts and then sent to packets. So HTTP is mostly used for document type of purpose. If you want to send any PDF file or rather this stuff, HTTP is preferred, and for small messages, MQTT is preferred. I will give an example for both the system. If you have 1,000 lines, if you have a startup and you want to send 1,000 messages, and you have 1,000 lines and you want to send message in HTTP, you have to individually send them that this is the requirement and this is our output. While in MQTT, you have to just set up a broker, and 1,000 client will be subscribing to that broker, and you have to just publish data from your end. So this is so powerful that you have to just call it once and it will do the necessary stuff ahead, and your server can be free for doing another task. So this is the basic terminology between HTTP and MQTT. We will see a parking system project. So by that, we can understand basically more about how Arduino works, how to set up everything. So Alan, you can stop sharing. So there are multiple cloud platform that provides internet over things support. To name some of them are UBDots, Adafruit, Blink, and Firebase is not for specially made for our internet over things, but we can tweak them little so that we can use it like that. So Firebase can be used if you are into Android dev and you want your full control over your embedded system. So Firebase is preferred. So we will start with UBDots, and similar stuff can be done for Adafruit and Blink. So yeah, you can take an for the difference between Blink and UBDots is mostly web-based, where UBDots is mostly web-based, and for Blink there is an Android app which is more beautiful in UI compared to UBDots. So if you want to develop an Android app but don't have knowledge of Java or something like that, so you can go for Blink server. So if you want to work with Node.js or anything else, you can go with UBDots and do the unnecessary stuff. So we'll start with devices. So I will show you the Node MCU ahead, just giving a brief intro how to set up things. So first, these are the devices that are connected to my UBDots. So first is MQTT Ultrasonic. This is the device that is currently connected by my Node MCU, and this is the previous Node MCU that I have worked and published data here. So in MQTT Ultrasonic, I have multiple variables that can be used. So I'm publishing a distance MQTT, which I am measuring from ultrasonic. Also, is the parking available? If the distance is, if the sensor measures a distance less than 50, that means a car is near the sensor and the parking is not available. So it will be automatically turn 0 here. So also, we will be seeing how to control our dashboard, also embedded system using voice, using IFTTT. So IFTTT is if this then that. So what it does is, if we, for example, Google Assistant, we will be linking all this to our Google Assistant. So if we command our Google Assistant to reserve a parking, so it will make this variable 1. And if we say if there is any condition and if we want to move out and don't want to reserve parking, we can directly say unreserved and this will be done 0. Also, this reserve parking, we will be setting a switch so we can manually from our dashboard can reserve our parking. So all this data can be visualized. So visualizing is better rather than saying raw values. So here from data perspective, we can go to dashboard. And in dashboard, I have set up all this necessary stuff. You can pick each and everything from this plus point and do. So for example, if I want to gauge, I'm setting one more gauge. So I need to add the variables here. Select your sensor. and see which variable you want to select as watch. IFTTT variable will be commonly 0 or 1. So using watch in that case is not recommendable or not logical. So we have to select distance amplitude. It ranges from 0 to 100. So I am taking this. Let's print that. Cool. So you can set up all necessary stuff. You can also beautify it using the font family you want to use, and you can add your custom style using CSS depending upon your need, and just click plus. So by this here a new watch will be set up. So I will delete this as of now. So this is the basic setup that is needed. So further, we will quickly see how to set up IFTTT. So you have to go to ifttt.com, and once logged in, you have to go to My Applets. So we already have an applet for our door. So when we speak open the door, our door gets opened, and the vice versa will be is implemented. So for our today's project, there are two things that we are going to use. One is reserve parking. When I say reserve parking on my phone, using the same account which is logged in here. So I have logged in using Project Cell CRC. For on your Google Assistant, that same account should be logged in. So when I say reserve parking, it will turn on the parking one. So this is a title on settings. The main part is setting here. I will quickly get you through it. So edit. So what do you want to say on your phone so that this webhook is triggered? So for this, you want to have entered reserve parking, and sometimes while assistance also assistant recalls it as reserved parking. So I can add another optional part with D, because if you are not adding D and if you say reserve parking, and if it detects reserve parking, it will not be able to distinguish between it, and it will search directly on Google Chrome, giving the appropriate results. So this is what do you want assistant to say in response. So once our webhook is acknowledged, we want to say reserve successfully. After doing this basic stuff, you need to save your trigger. So it's fine now. From a mobile phone, a webhook request, a web request is made. So what you want to do next? So in that case, I want to do an API call. This URL is basically an API. So this is HTTP industrial UB dots. This is their host, and till this there is host. So what's this? Devices, MQTT, ultrasonic, and this token. How do I get it? So we will go slightly back towards your devices. Fine. So devices is a number of devices that we have been connected. I told you MQTT ultrasonic is the one of the device that is connected to it. And what is the topic? So basically, for example, I gave some time back, say if there are 1,000 subscribers to your broker, so that is the 1,000 people are subscribed to a topic, and if there is any change in that topic, you want to know the result, or you want to trigger something. So our topic here is, what do we say, IFT variable. IFTTT variable. Okay. So this is basically our devices and our token. You can easily generate token by going here and API credential, and UV dots app default token you can copy and directly paste. So you can directly paste here. After that, you have to select method as post, and as you know, web or all the requests are made using, mostly as of now it was made up using JSON. So this is our topic, IFTTT variable. So whenever I say, and you just save it, update action. So whenever say update, okay. So whenever I say reserve parking, the IFTTT variable should go 1. I will dashboard. Okay. So I will do a live demo of this. We will keep this device variable also.
What do you want to search for?
Reserve Park.
Alright, I'll respond.
My net is not working well. Reserve parking. Reserve parking. So we will come back to it later. I think so my net's not working. So let's start with the MQTT. This one. I'm joining it. So basically this is Node MCU. Node MCU ultrasonic, and ultrasonic consists of two pins. One is trigger and echo, and it needs 5 volts, so it is directly connected to the V-in of the Node MCU board and ground. So whenever I turned it on, so as you can see, now it's showing a value of 100 and parking available. And this is a switch is on off as I have not reserved the parking. And whenever I place my hand in ahead of it, it will show 70. And as there is already a car, it will say off, no parking available. Also, it can be, you can see how fast it is. It takes approx 1-2 seconds because it is running on a MQTT platform. I will give you the code of HTTP and you can check how fast it is. Yeah, when I was trying, HTTP was taking around 6-7 seconds for doing the same task, where MQTT is taking a millisecond of time. So further, when I click, so the control should be two-way. So we should be able to control our embedded system from a remote kind of. stuff. So whenever I want to reserve parking when I am at home, so what I will do is I will press a button, so and it will be reserved. As you can see, the LED is on now. So whenever if after any situation I want to turn off, I don't want to reserve, I will click on the unreserved and the LED will be closed. That means there is currently no I don't want to use the parking. So this is the basic stuff that we are going to see. I will show the code now. So we will just fast forwardly see the Firebase also, and after that we will go through the code of it, so it will be better. I will upload the Firebase code. This is- So code is uploaded. So as you can see, and Firebase also the value is updating. So whenever I put my hand near the sensor, it's going 11.
But I think you're not presenting the screen.
My camera is on, so there might. So did you get it?
Lot of this thing. The picture is not clear actually.
Acha.
Can't see. You can see your camera, but picture is not clear.
Okay, I will just share from my laptop. So the basic circuit is like this. There is nothing much to see on my camera. When I put hand, the data is going 80. I will show the clearly data. So it is more clear right now. So whenever I put my hand ahead the sensor, you can say it is taking less time compared to UV dots. So if you want to build a scalable app that really needs to be in a market and you have the idea, you can go with the Firebase. Firebase being a Google product is more scalable compared to UV dots. Also, it's almost free. UV dots you get only 30 days trial compared to ultrasonic. So we will once again check the IFTTT part. Reserve parking.
Reserved successfully.
So it's working now. We will go to dashboard. So it's reserved. I will say unreserved parking.
Unreserved successfully.
So you can see this variable is triggered as I am saying stuff. So that's the basic stuff. So after if you want to control your system using IFTTT or anything, you can do like this. So it's if you have multiple analog pins, as you can see from in Arduino, there are multiple analog pins, and NodeMCU it is one. So you can use an ESP32 module in your Arduino, which will do the same stuff, and you will get more flexibility in using things. So we will go through codes in very fast amount of time. So this is a generic code for MQTT platform. So if you are using Adafruit or anything or Blink, you did not need to download their library individually. You just have to put the variable, your Wi-Fi password, that is same. Also, token can be generated as I have shown earlier. You just go to have a credential and just download a token here. Also, the variable name. So there are two variables that I've declared for ultrasonic. One is variable name, and another variable is parking available. If distance is less than 50, I have make put it as 1. So device label, as you have seen the device here, from the devices chart, it is MQTT ultrasonic, same here. And the topic that I am using is a distance, MQTT, and parking available. We can call it as a topic that our end users will subscribe. My MQTT broker as of now is industrial API.uv.dos. Here, yeah, you can use Adafruit or anything you need. So in UV.dos, you can also send messages, emails if you want to trigger something similar as IFTTT. You can explore it yourself. It is not much difficult enough. The main part that needs to be addressed is the setup. Once this setup is clear, anything far ahead is very easy. So if you are new to programming and you have never used Node MCUs, this is a basic setup. You have to add this preference, I am stable package. I will just paste it in the chat box if anyone needs. This is the preference that is needed. After adding that preference, you have to go to Tools, Board, and Boards Manager. Here you can ASP.8266 and download the community version. After downloading this, in mostly all setup will be there, but in case it is not there, go to ports ESP8266, and if you are buying a newer board, mostly it will be Node MCU 1.0, and if it is not working, try using Node MCU 0.9 depending upon the necessary hub. And please select port. I have not connected my Node MCU as of now, so whenever I will connect Node MCU, the port you need to be selected. So this is the basic stuff that is required. I will be sharing you with all this library. There are multiple libraries available, but not all of them are not working. You will waste an ample amount of time finding this library, but some of them will be not working. So to save that time, I will be sharing with the zip file. You can connect with any of the project cell member in your classroom, and they will forward it to you if you really need it. So the library that I'm using right now is PubSub client. So it is used for basically subscribing and publishing. So ESP Wi-Fi to connect with the Wi-Fi. When you client connect MQTT token, all this is the basic setup that is needed. And when you first install Arduino, there will be two things, that is void setup and void loop. So void loop, so does anyone has any doubts? Yeah, if you have any doubt, let me know. I will take it here. So void loop will running continuously once the setup is run. So the flow of your code will be, you will be downloading all the variables, distance, MQTT, defining all the variable, including all the libraries that is needed, and after that a setup will be run once. So in this setup, you have to connect to your Wi-Fi, connect to your broker, and set a callback. So callback is basically used when you are subscribing. So whenever you subscribe, the data will not be instantly downloaded. There will be some latency between your, depending upon your net speed. So whenever that data is available, this callback will be called. So this is the callback that I'm using. So callback comes with multiple options. That is topic, that I have told you. Each variable is known as topic in terms of MQTT measure. This distance, MQTT, IFTTT, all these are topics, and users will be subscribing to it. So where after subscribing, a payload will be generated. Is the serial monitor on? I will turn on the serial monitor quite fast. So whenever you need to upload the data by this button, and after uploading, you need to open serial monitor. And please select the baud rate here precisely. If the baud rate is wrong, there the output will be not shown on the serial monitor. So I have used the wrong port. Acha, Firebase one is now I need to re-upload it. So now my mistake. So the for the Firebase code, the baud rate is 9600. So you can see set data string is connected to 100. Whenever I put my hand, here we can see the distance is decreasing. So this is the common mistake we do while using embedded on the Node MCU and stuff. So further, I need to comment something. So it is commented only. I will re-upload. So till it's uploaded, we will again quickly go through it. So callback basically is used to subscribe to a data, and reconnect is when you so there might be some chances that while publishing your data is so much long. So MQTT provides a support of 256 MB that can be sent in one go. So while this sending data, it may be possible that your system get disconnected from your broker. So you need to reconnect, you have to check it and reconnect on the regular basis. So there is a reconnect function that is defined here. Further, ultrasonic working of ultrasonic, we will not go in deep, but just keep in mind it works on the principle of sound. It sends sound from one end, and after reflecting from the obstacle, it calculates the time that the sound needs to reach back from the sender. And so we will set up 0.0 to moderate, and okay. So we will see what's this data. I've disconnected my Node MCU, that's why it turned gray. So checked reserve parking is to subscribe to my what do we say? I want to get the data of the variable known or a variable or the topic known as reserve parking, and I want to send this ultrasonic data to cloud. So I need to define a payload. Payload is basically a JSON object consisting of the all the necessary stuff. Achha, wait. Connected. This is the payload. Highlighted one is the payload. I am sending two values. One is distance of the ultrasonic, that ultrasonic measure known as distance MQTT, and parking available is the parking available. This to a JSON object is created and published to the website. So this is done using client.publish. The topic is basically device and devices label. And my payload is, as we can see, distance MQTT, the value in a JSON object, and another key and its pair as a JSON object value. Further, in void loop, as we know, void loop keeps running infinitely in a loop. So check reserve parking and sending data should be done in specific amount of time, and it should not go in setup and run only once. So after running continuously, I put in loop. So client.loop keeps the loop running. It's not connected to this loop, it's for the MQTT client broker service, and I have given a delay of 100 milliseconds because there needs to be some delay between your data that should be reached to the server. If I remove this, it will send on a continuous basis very fast, and our MQTT server might block us. So don't forget to give a delay of 100 milliseconds or 10-20 will work fine. So this is the basically MQTT code in detail. So I think so this is fine enough. I will be sharing this code with you so you can use in your project. So if you are using, what do you say, a DHT11 for temperature monitoring, nothing will be changed. Just write a function known as a long get temperature, and in this function return the temperature that is that you will get from your sensor, and it will go here distance available. So in type of distance, here will be temperature, and variable label, if you want to use same variable label, it's your choice. And if you want to be more sufficient, more industry oriented, you want to use it as it defines itself. So if use it as a temperature from DHT like name and send it in the payload. So this is a basic working of NodeMCU from MQTT in UBDOS. We will quickly go through Firebase code. So in why also we can directly get a file name. Is here we can see Firebase ESP8266H. If I wanted, I can directly use this node MQTT broker and all that stuff, but it's easy to use directly the file, but we also need to know the concept behind the code and then move forward. So you can directly get ub.mqtt file one in your node MCU, which will make your life easy, but using core is always preferable. It is more efficient and more reliable. So here you have to use Firebase storage. After I will open my node MCU project. So you have to go to project setting first. Whenever you create a real-time database here, when you first create a project, you need to go to real-time database and create one project. And after creating, please take care. Here there should be a date defined. It should be greater than there should be a time of 10-15 days, so you can work easily. Or if you want to use it on a regular basis, directly convert it to true, so it will be more in test mode. It is not recommended in the development mode to use directly to show your database to the server. So you need to have authentication before putting it in development stage, so take care of it. Also in project set, you have to go to project setting and in service accounts. Here you will get your host. So this is my host. So and this is my host. Also in database secrets, you will get your key, secret key. So you need to use put host here and your authorization key here. Wi-Fi SSID and password will be that depending the hotspot near you. Here ESP8266 Wi-Fi is used. The same, the basic concept using any cloud is same. We just need to know how it is done in one format, and it can be easily done in another. So here also same Wi-Fi.begin. This will connect your node MCU here ESP8266 to your router or the phone hotspot, whatever you are using. And if it is not connected, it will continuously print dot dot dot, and after connected, it will print the Wi-Fi IP address. Firebase.begin will initialize your Firebase object that is defined here. Firebase object with the host and authorization. Enable auto connect connection. So here in node MCU code, we need to take care of, what do you say? So we need to always say client.connected, so to stay connected. So in case of Firebase, it is Firebase.reconnect, so it will keep connected. No need to do a check every time. So the long distance, see again here, the function and the functionalities remains the same. Only the sensors code and the basic stuff changes. So here also set string will be done, and Firebase data ultrasonic value will be my child. Here I can see. So this is my base, and this child is the ultrasonic value, and reserve parking is another child. So this here. So I am sending data to database, sending this value. In this function, I am taking distance as a value and saving it. If it is successful, then serial.println says success, and if it is not, it's error. Also, while get data, firebase.get, and we are want to fetch reserve parking value. So the function for setting we say set string, and for get a request we directly say get. So we will be checking data is in which format. I know for from for some by I'm using int, so I will be using int only to store my data in data, and I'm printing what's the data. And if the data is 0, I'm using led built-in as high. So led built-in works differently than rather than a concept than the basic led. So on the both end voltage is given. So whenever you want to turn off the led, you have to make one voltage high. So there's no concept of it will be difficult for you to understand right now, but consider it as both terminal. If you make high, the led glows off. If you make low, the led turns off, so it gets ground. So if for the same double value, get distance, get data to subscribe to reserve parking, and send data to database for publishing. So this is how a basic project is done. There can be building a many multiple more complex project, but starting is the main part. So this is how you start your IoT projects. So any doubts?
I have a few doubts.
Sure.
Yeah, first of all, so I wanted to know the implementation of the is then that integration,
Acha.
like how exactly have you done it and all for that particular project, and then what are the details you'd require for such an implementation?
Details as in?
Details as in what all will be required, like what type of would be required a special type of account, would be there some
Ah.
subscriptions or something like that which would be required at the time.
So for IFTTT, I will share my screen again. You just have to take care that after you can get free 3 applets. So basically, when you create say reserve parking or say unreserved, you get 3 basic applet free. So if you want to use more applets, you need to subscribe. So packages you can see it 3.4, almost $4 per month, which will be approx 300-400 rupees per month. So this is the one part, and
So basically, what you're trying to say is you will get three commands.
applets. 3 commands free.
Okay.
You don't need any special account. You can directly go with. Just take care. The Google Assistant you will be using on your phone needs to be logged in with the same Gmail account that you are using here.
And is this only possible through like Google Assistant, not
No. Yes, it's you can do that. You have to just research a little bit. It's basically an API call. So whenever you do an API call from your account, it will be webhook will be called.
Okay.
And
what about Firebase?
Firebase as in?
Firebase, as you have implemented this database and all, implemented the entire project. So was there anything special required here too?
No. Firebase is almost free for 1-2 GB. You need to start with Spark plan. And, for basic college purpose, it is almost free. You can use it. So you can see the Spark plan. These are the multiple plans you can go.
Okay.
See full plan detail.
Okay.
It gives 1 GB total data storage. So 1 GB is quite enough, I think so, for us. Any more?
Anybody having any questions?
Yeah, you didn't understand concept. You need to reiterate myself. Fine, sir. So
We'll end the
Is there
session, sir.
anything else to show, or that's it?
I think so. It is. So if they are interested, I can show you the projects that we are working on. If
Yeah,
anyone's
can you
interested.
show us your past projects?
Yeah.
Yes, cool. I will go website on website. One minute. Update my system. So you can go to our website, and we constantly upload our projects that we have been doing and currently working on. So this is the website link. So our recent project was that we are actually participating. We as a project cell participate in a competition called eYantra. It is a national level competition where IIT Bombay hosted, and the winner of the competition gets a chance to do an internship there. So having a tag of IIT in an internship will help a lot in your professional career. Also, if you're pursuing MS, it helps a lot. So one of the project that won IIT, that won eYantra, was Pani Puri Dahi Puri vending machine. This is quite famous, as everyone know. So another in 2019, our Pani Puri Dahi Puri vending machine won that prize. In 2017, we developed an project called Robotic Assistant for TB patient. So it also won the prize, Yantra Most Innovative Challenge Innovation category. We take part in last year using IoT one using crop management. So this is also a good project. Implementation of IoT and all other stuff was done. And yeah, you can go through this website and check it out. Uh, if and if you have any idea, and if you are not getting space or time, if you don't have skills and you want to learn it and be more used to it as to develop your project, you can always come to us. We will are ready to help. So currently we are working on a project called Flood Monitoring, Alerting and Prevention System. I will not. This is my Yantra page. So I am currently in pre-final stage. I will show the video. This is not, So this is one of the major project that's going on in pandemic. Being pandemic, we didn't get enough time and space to work. So then also we developed this project. This is mostly a flood-based project. So whenever a floods come, we are training our machine learning model with it. Also, we are measuring the water level data by ourselves. It is basically a startup idea. So this water level is sent through cloud using we are also using this Node MC only, but on a heavier basis. So we get a message if it goes over a threshold. It's the repeater node, as Alan told. NRF, we are using NRF for the same. This communication hub. Further, this is the village where if there is a flood situation, a message will be sent to it. This is our flood wall. So in case of flood, there is a concept of flood that floods get depressurized near the village area. So this will be installed there. So, so this is the project that we are currently working. So if anybody is interested, let us know if they want to go into competition or have any plans like that. I think so.
Yeah, Shri, you can just put up your contact details for the people so that if anybody is interested, they can contact you. You can put up your
Yes.
mail or something or contact number like that on the chat so that if anybody wants to see or anybody wants to do any other thing or to have the to get the knowledge or to get the resources for their project, they are free to contact to the each and every any member of the project cell. Since he is the leader of the project cell, so you can contact either Shri or Alan or anyone from the project cell people. You can get the information or the contact details, I think, of all the project cell members on our college website. If you are always welcome to get in touch with them and to gain the knowledge so that will be helpful for you in developing your career in embedded systems and IoT. So yeah, thank you, Shri and his team. In spite of they are also waiting for the results of the pre-finals. So the result will come, and in spite of their the present work, they have actually find some time and done a good presentation. So I hope that it will be helpful for all you guys, and you make a use of it and you implement it in your project. So we hope that this session, at least we could give you the brief introduction about Node MCU and related stuff. So thank you, Shri and Easton. Okay. Now we just end the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.